All right. First and foremost, I say shalom and all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High God, Yahweh. And I give him all praise, honor, and glory in the name of his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, whose real name in the ancient Paleo Hebrew is Yahushai, a so-called black man. It's your brother, Chief Priest Alazar Lawyer, aka the Guerrilla Hebrew. It's 5 a.m. here in Dallas. We were live earlier from the rally, actually, that they had about 7 o'clock yesterday evening. I ain't been asleep, been up doing various things. Came back in from the rally, had to hit the store, had to get some eat, but I've been studying really since then. And then, I heard some new developments in the case. And I just said, man, I got to go live. I got to go live. It's important that we are given up to the minute information about this case and advocate for this brother through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua as much as possible. Because we know the news is not going to do it like they're supposed to. And we certainly know we can't count on law enforcement to do it like we're supposed to. So the first thing I want to say is we learned last night that not only was our brother from the tribe of Levi, but Botham Shimjon murdered by law enforcement, but also a few days prior to that, one of our brothers from the tribe of Issachar, our so-called Hispanic brother, Jorge, I forget his last name, he was also murdered by law enforcement. There was a large group of so-called Mexicans, Hispanics that were at the rally who were outraged on not only Botham's murder, but the murder also of Jorge and the countless murders that have been that Dallas law enforcement has done against Hispanics, and no one has ever said or done anything. It's not making national headlines, of which they should be. And we've been saying this for a long time, how Latinos and Native Indians are getting killed at equal and rapider, at higher rates than so-called black men. But for whatever reason, the media is not picking it up. And again, like I stated on last night's live stream, that's all a part of media manipulation and a way to try to separate the struggles of blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians, though they are collective and we share them. For example, Botham Shimjon was, of course, a black man who was murdered, but also he's an immigrant. So what does that show? That immigration is as big a black problem as it is a Hispanic problem. And quite frankly, you can even say a worse black problem. Why? Because the primary target of Trump's deportations are Haitians, not Mexicans. Almost double the amount of Haitians are going to be deported or planning by Trump to be deported than Mexicans, 100,000 to 60,000. So collectively, police brutality, police homicide, immigration, overall total disenfranchisement are the collective issues of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And the reason behind this is because we are the Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible. We are God's chosen people. We need to realize that, repent, and return to the law, statutes, commandments, and faith. It's imperative that we understand this, right? But some new developments came in the case, and I want to go into these new developments briefly. I want to just put these on the record. I don't want to take too long with this. I definitely wanted to do it live, but I don't want to take too long with this. Because I'm tired, to be real with you. And, I don't think there's anything planned today, but Wednesday, there's a town hall meeting in City Hall at noon here in Dallas that activists are calling the community to be at. So most high willing, we will be in attendance for that, certainly. But yeah, so here we have the affidavit. State of Texas warrant of arrest. Here's the copy of this affidavit, right? So I want to get to it. On what it says is the facts of this case are as follows. You're going to see some interesting things. There's some things that we have substantiated are contradicted by witness statements. Substantiated. See it bigger now? Hold on. All praise Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. He's revealing these people. But let's go here, because I've received witness testimony as a priest and judge of the nation of Israel. Okay, witness testimony from at least two of the individuals that lives directly next door to him and the individual that lives directly under her. Now watch this. And when I say her, I'm referring to the brother Botham's next door neighbor. Okay, so it says the facts are as follows. Watch this. It says Complainant Jean is the resident tenant of apartment 1478. Geiger, who is a Dallas police officer, lives in the same apartment complex directly beneath the complainant in apartment 1378. Well, the sister from the tribe of Issachar, so-called Mexican woman, who also was from San Diego, when I spoke to her this past Saturday, she said Amber Geiger does not live next door to her, as this is alleging, and as the news and it's been propagated that she lives in 1378, but she lives right next to 1378. And though she says she's seen Geiger on the premises of the building and at the building multiple times, she says Geiger has never been seen on her floor and certainly isn't her next door neighbor. This is what she said to me. Apartment 1378 and apartment 1478 and their respective interior floor plan are in most ways identical or extremely similar to the exterior surrounding structure and description of each other. Complainant Jean was home alone with Geiger, who had just ended her shift but was still in her Dallas police uniform. See, they're emphasizing that she's a cop and how she was still uniformed as a cop. What they're trying to do is give her that blue privilege. That's like white privilege with a plus, right? It's like getting a 5.0 instead of a 4.0. You know, you're in honors classes. That's just more than of the complexion for the protection. Continuing on, it says, arrived at the apartment complex and parked her vehicle on the 4th floor of the parking garage, which should correspond with the floor the resident lives on. So you're supposed to park on the floor that you live. So here she's already made a clear mistake of going up an extra level in the parking structure and parking on the 4th floor. Let's analyze the series of mistakes that this devil Amber Geiger makes that leads to the ending of the brother Botham Jean's life, right? It says Geiger entered the apartment building. Geiger entered the apartment building and walked down the 4th floor hallway to what she thought was her apartment. Mind you, what she thought was her apartment, as she walks by gets out of the parking structure that identifies itself as being on the 4th floor, walks into the hallway and sees apartment after apartment that is numbered 14 and not 13, where she alleges she stays, which witness testimony says she doesn't stay, for the record, right? 14 after 14. It says Geiger entered the building, walked down the 4th floor hallway to what she thought was her apartment. Apartment, again, is labeled 1478, not 1378, where she alleges to stay, again, which witnesses say she doesn't stay. An apartment of Botham Jean 1478 that has a red carpet outside of it, which she doesn't have outside of her unit, right? It says her apartment, she inserted a unique door key with an electronic chip into the door keyhole. The door, which was slightly ajar prior to Geiger's arrival, fully opened under the force of the key insertion. So how did she know that the key was slightly ajar if it took her putting the key in the door to open it? How is that being determined as fact? I would love to understand that. Upon the door being opened, Geiger observed that the apartment interior was nearly completely dark. Additionally, the door being open alerted Complainant Jean to Geiger's presence. Believing that she had encountered a burglar, which was described as a large silhouette across the room in her apartment, trying to take the race play out of it, saying it was just a silhouette. She couldn't make out the ethnic makeup of the individual that she saw in her apartment. Described as a large silhouette across the room in her apartment. Geiger drew her firearm, gave verbal commands. Right. So in addition to everything else that's been set up to this point, her parking on the wrong floor that's blatantly labeled with the large number 4 that indicates the floor that you're on, which is not the floor that she says she lives on. Walking on into a hallway, passing unit after unit, labeled very clearly numbers that do not correspond with the floor that she lives on. She then walks into an apartment, alleges that the door was ajar, and she attempted to enter with her key, but the door just came open, which I don't know if it was, again, slightly ajar. Why would you try to put your key in? But then it says she gave verbal commands. I received testimony from the next door neighbor who says you can hear a lot of what her neighbors do on a day-to-day basis. entering in and out of their units, walking in the halls, conversations they have. She says she hears these things vividly, loud and clear on a regular basis. The other sister who lives below them also says she can hear the same things on her floor, not necessarily of the floor above, outside of walking around and commotion and things of that nature, but she can certainly hear people on her floor in the hallways entering and exiting their units and certain conversations they have. She alleges that she gave verbal commands. The next door neighbor again attested to me that all she heard was a gunshot and then her getting on the phone and calling 911. Guyger, that is, calling 911. So if she heard her call 911, she certainly would have heard her giving verbal commands. Witnesses say there were no verbal commands given. Continuing on, that were ignored by complainant Jean. As a result, Guyger fired her handgun 2 times, striking the complainant 1 time in the torso. Guyger then entered the apartment immediately, called 911. So allegedly, this all occurs in the hallway. She hadn't entered the apartment yet. This all occurred in the hallway. Again, witnesses told me, neighbors who live on that floor told me, when people are entering and exiting their unit and having conversations in the hallway, they can hear them vividly. This witness attested that she heard the 911 call being made that Guyger says she made in the apartment. So certainly if she was outside the apartment in the echoey hallway, she would have heard, the neighbor that is, would have heard Amber Guyger giving verbal commands to our brother Botham Shem Jean. That is a lie. And all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai that these demons, these devils, these murderous pigs are being exposed. Immediately called 911, requesting police and EMS, and provided first aid to complainant Jean. This is all she heard was a phone call. Due to the interior darkness of the apartment, Guyger turned on the interior lights while on the phone with 911. Upon being asked where she was located, watch this. Upon being asked where she was located by emergency dispatchers, Guyger returned to the front door to observe the address and discovered she was at the wrong apartment. Here's the thing. If this was your apartment and you were under the honest impression that this was your apartment, why would you need to go to the hallway and check the number on the door? It's your apartment. You should know which apartment you live in. You should know your own damn address. So if you know your own damn address, why would you need to recheck the address on the front of the door? You lying damn devil. The white man, woman, and child is the devil that the Bible speaks of. You see this? Guyger returned to the front door to observe the address. Wait a minute. Why the hell would you need to observe your own address and discover she was at the wrong apartment? Wait a minute. It took you looking at the numbers on the door to realize you were at the wrong apartment? Where's the 911 tape that's consistent with this? I love to hear that audio. Guyger called 911 from her cell phone, requesting an ambulance and police to the offense location. Complainant Jean was transported to Baylor Hospital, where he died as a result of his injury. Also, she's alleging to, mind y'all though, she shot at this brother in the complete dark and got a kill shot in the dark just by seeing a shadowy figure banged in the dark and got a kill shot. Damn, I knew she was a elite cop, but damn. Guyger remained at the scene and informed the responding officers and the 911 operator that she thought she was at her apartment when she shot the complainant. How did she think she was at her apartment if she had to go check the address of the apartment she was in? Guyger believes she was in her apartment and confronted by a burglar when she fired her handgun, striking and killing him. I call all kinds of bullshit. The devil is a liar, man, and we know it. And the devil incarnate is manifest as evil in the flesh through the white man, woman, and child. We have to stop running from that very obvious fact as a people, man. We have to. From what I collect from this, and I've been doing research on the Texas Penal Codes. From what I have gathered from this through the Spirit and taking a look at the Texas Penal Codes, this is criminal trespassing and criminal homicide, period. A Class A misdemeanor, because what enhances a criminal trespassing is if you entered into somebody's habitation and you were carrying a deadly weapon. So literally, that's criminal trespassing. And of course, this was criminal homicide. Intentionally or knowingly causing the death of an individual, intends to cause serious bodily injury and commits an act clearly dangerous to human life that causes the death of an individual. She did that. She did it. Point blank, period. She did that. Look at this. This is criminal homicide. What's it like? Watch this. Where we at? Make sure you see. Okay. So look, this is criminal trespassing. Criminal trespassing commits criminal trespassing offense if the person enters or remains on or in property of another, his apartment, 1478, which she had to check the numbers on, proving what? That she was not in her apartment. And she knew she wasn't in her apartment, including residential land, agricultural land, and recreational vehicle park, a building, or an aircraft, or an other vehicle without effective consent. And the person, right? It says if you had noticed that the entry was forbidden or received notice to depart but failed to do so, right? Entry means intrusion. Entry means intrusion of the entire body. Notice. What is a notice? So how do we know legally by Texas law if somebody received notice that they were forbidden from entering a premises? This is B. This is the one that applies. Fencing or other enclosures obviously designed to exclude intruders or to contain livestock. A door would be an enclosure that obviously is designed to exclude intruders. Right? So now what makes it a Class A misdemeanor, which would be the highest misdemeanor, is, hold on, Class B, Class C. If it's a Class A misdemeanor if the offense is committed in a habitation, which it was, and hold on, if the person carries a deadly weapon during the commission of the offense. So she carried a deadly weapon entering into somebody's habitation when there was notice that she shouldn't have been there. That's criminal trespassing, a Class A misdemeanor, plus criminal homicide, right? Which is first-degree murder. And there you have it. That's what she's guilty of pursuant to Texas law, right? Now watch this. Proverbs 6:16. Let's see how God feels about this. These 6 things the Lord Yahweh hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue. She's been caught up in lies, clearly. God hates her lying tongue, her devilish, demonic lying tongue. And hands that shed innocent blood. She's 2 of the 7 things, clearly right here. A lying tongue and hands that shed innocent blood. The Lord hates her and what she's done, period. Verse 18. But our people are lining up to forgive this murderous devil pig. It's disgusting. On a heart that devises wicked imaginations, the murder of this brother. So I'll take that as 3. Feet that be swift to run a mischief. She was quick to gun that brother down. I'll take that as 4. A false witness that speaketh lies. 5. And he that soweth discord among brethren. See that? 5 of the 7 of the things that the Lord is listed to hate here in Proverbs 6. Amber Geiger, the devil, has fallen under in the commission of the murder of our brother Botham Shem Jean. Let's see what the Bible says is supposed to happen to her. Numbers 35:30. Whoso killeth any person, the murderer shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses. We have gotten multiple witness testimony that exposes the inconsistencies in her testimony, thus calling into question the credibility of her testimony and also making her look a lot more guilty. But one witness shall not testify against any person and cause him to die. Again, like I said, I've received witness testimony from 2 people. Right in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall the matter be established as it is written. Verse 31. Moreover, you shall take no satisfaction for the life of a murderer, like the Dallas Police Department has, which is guilty of death, but he shall surely be put to death. If we got a swearing on the Bible and everybody believes in the Bible and it's supposed to be a God-fearing country, county, we're in the Bible Belt, well, she should surely be put to death according to the Bible. So if the Dallas Police Department is really this Christian God-fearing organization they perpetrate themselves to be, then again, going back to what I call for, the only thing I'll be satisfied with, which is the Dallas Police Department to publicly execute Amber Guyger in the street in front of Southside Flats. That's what I call for, and I will be satisfied with nothing less. Verse 32, and ye shall take no satisfaction for him that is fled to the city of his refuge, that he should come again to dwell in the land, because that's what she did, because she lived in Southside Flats, but she was in a whole nother county when they found her. Still don't take satisfaction until the death of the priest. Verse 33, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that sheddeth. So by her shedding the blood of our innocent brother, Botham Shimshon, her blood got to be shed in the same place to cleanse that place of the pollution that came from the blood of that innocent man. Just like the scripture said, the innocent blood crieth out to the Most High. That innocent blood of Botham Shimshon is crying out. And in part is crying out through us going out there on the streets and bringing awareness to this and speaking out about it. But ultimately, it is directly crying out to the Most High, and he will surely avenge this. And this is what you people don't get. There is a vengeance coming for you. What did Farrakhan tell y'all at the Million Man March 20-year anniversary? If you don't let blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian go, God is going to judge you. And he was correct. 1,000%. And it's coming because you continually murder us. Again, there was a Hispanic brother, Jorge, who just dealt the same fate. And it was an organization that was represented at the rally that had been doing activism work against police brutality for 45 years in the city of Dallas, going back to the first major case of a homicide in Dallas on a police on a so-called Hispanic brother, man. So we've been going through this together, man. We need to wake up. Verse 34, defile not therefore the land which ye shall inhabit, wherein I dwell, for I, Yahweh, dwell among the children of Israel. So, I mean, that's just point blank period, man. That's point blank period. This is crazy, and it's getting crazier. And as, new developments arise, I mean, there's still credence, or there's still whispers that there could have been some type of involvement, some type of rejection by the brother to the so-called white one. We don't know exactly what's going on as far as that goes, because it seems like there are some very peculiar missing links in this story. But again, from the testimony that I received from the neighbor, the only person that she saw in any extra familiar capacity of the opposite sex with the brother Botham Shimshon was a sister, not any white woman, let alone this white woman, Amber Guyger. The next door neighbor even said she had never seen Amber Guyger. The sister who lived on the third floor, she said she's seen her around. But the next door neighbor of Botham Shimshon said she had never seen this woman before. So granted, the apartment complex is kind of sizable. There's a lot of people going in and out. The hours she worked, you may not have seen her, but especially if she didn't live on your floor, or any, near you. So, it is what it is. But man, as these things develop, I'm going to be sure to update as the Spirit compels me. But I want to, again, make sure we continually causing awareness and advocating for this brother and other brothers like him, the brother Jorge, and we bridging that gap and coming to the understanding as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that we are going through a very collective oppression that's unique to the oppression that any other demographics are going through on the face of the earth. And there's a reason for that, because we are God's chosen people, the Israelites. And there is an international confederacy that is set up, as spoken about in Psalms, the 83rd chapter, that is directly set up in opposition of us and our advancement as a people, spiritually, economically, physically, on every level. There is a dedicated multinational confederacy dedicated to keeping us down, man. That's not a conspiracy. That's a biblical fact. We have to wake up. With that, again, I give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High God, Yahweh. I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, and I say shalom.